is waiting for you. Please place the codex before him.
Grand as this is, I can't help but worry about Hughes.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers, treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. Even with the power of a god, you have the humility of a mortal. Perhaps this gift has found the correct person. This is a time of great change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. That is how I understand it now. You are intertwined with the power in Alabastra. There can be no doubt of that. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer, and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. You are right. No one can force this upon you. Such is the true power of freedom. But the Tuatha and their god will continue to seek you out, and they will find you. When they do, know that while you may be unbound by fate, death can find you still. To fight it, you must assemble allies. Seek their aid to assemble your forces. Only then can you hope to resist the forces arrayed against you.
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours. Old Fomorus Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around, and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes.
Don't test me.
Predicament. Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh, why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. How extraordinary. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I face quite the predicament. My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now, there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tartarian, but they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands my concern. Thank you, mortal. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. I enjoy my role as steward, but my fear of Lady Olana overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. I am steward of the High King's List, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olana will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe they fear us, as they fear the elements. As they should. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? Well, I've never met him, of course. Such an honor is not granted to squires. But they say he is quite incredible. As tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. Farewell, honorable one.
Pretty evening, isn't it?
They send the ruler of the House of Ballads to serve me? What form of unnatural mortal game is this? Why are you here? Me? Well, my seniority dictates that I should be leading this procession, but my lame leg prevents me from taking my rightful place. I should bring up the rear. I will make it to Tartarean's throne, even if I have to crawl. Great Huntress Heartwen should go first, leading us all. She's particularly like that. I would hate to anger her. Of course.
Pretty evening, isn't it?
You feel it, don't you? Anyone intimate with the ways of magic can detect the waning current. You're like me, your grace. You see the end. Is this how it happened at the House of Ballads? Did Hallam foresee this slow decay? I had a feeling he did. Of the Gardens of Issa? Of the Summer Court? Why, this crystal war may be the end of all Fae. I know because I am Nomeron, master of the font, the wellspring of all Summer Court magic. I've seen it flow at its highest, but I've never seen it so dry. Something must be done before all this city withers into nothingness. The font is the source of all Summer Court magic. It has flowed through this mountainside since our kind sprang up from the dirt. That flow has waned in recent days. It's unnatural, even as the magic in the world grows. The Fae, it seems, will wither. The font's flow is controlled from the Lyceum Grove down below. We must open the root system and allow more water through. However, the magic that regulates this flow can only be used by some. It's protected by a ward known as the Waterlock. It can only be opened by one who carries drops from each of the 5 sacred pools surrounding Issa. Collect these drops, and you can break the Waterlock. Goodbye.
I am the Great Huntress Heartwen, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful? How quaint. Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Winry. So it is only right I meet the High King before her. Not only must I be in front of Warlord Winry, but I must also lead Lord Setter, the old lecher. Serves him right for all his past leering. The pleasure was all mine, child of the dust. Goodbye.
Be well.
there, pretty. This is Aska's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern in Issa, of course, but you didn't know that, did you? If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything. About the understyle, the embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all. Bye now.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gurturn Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds. And if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. See you soon.
Stinking alpha.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace? I am not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor. If you value this position, you will make sure Lord Setter is not behind Huntress Hartwin. She finds him despicable, as do I. Of course. But see that it doesn't happen again.
I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballads serves no one. Order? I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the warlord Wenery? I enjoy watching her backside travel.
So, you're done. A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails? It's good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents. Yes, yes. Of course. And then? All right. Next. Yes, yes. Excellent. That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you. Goodbye, Your Grace.
So?
May the cycle keep you.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the fontmaster and steward of tinctures and elixirs. Bristletongue? My, that would be something. A mockingbird with the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something. Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion. Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. Do come see me again.
I am at your service.
Hello there.
You've got the seeds! Now we'll see if the Victor's Brew can stand up to a new challenger. I'll have a batch of Asker's draft ready before the week is out. Take this, friend. And like I promised, the merchants here will give you a discount. You've got a home here in the alley for as long as you like. See you soon.
I am at your service.
Yes, mortal?
How strange.
You've done well, Child of the Dust. Those below will never know what is really happening. But in the end, is this a part of the many seasons or the sudden tempest? Does hiding the rot not spoil the harvest, no? Take this. You're brave. Perhaps we will meet again. Farewell.
Hello. Welcome to the Trellis, mortal.
There you are.
I hope they've fared well.
Step carefully in the forest.
Yes? What is it?
It is good to see Gorhart overcome the fear that it harboured for so long. As far as I am concerned, all Fae are welcome here. Be careful out there.
Hello?
Stranger, please. I am being hunted by Fair Gorta. The bones of all my forebears mean to kill me.
They are the bones of all my fallen family. I am of an ancient line, and the curse it bears is almost as old. When a Skaith dies, the magic of the curse raises his bones and forces them to hunt its descendants. Nothing of its life remains, just a hunger for Skaith blood. They will not stop until the line is dead, and I fear I am the last. But this curse need not end with my death, if you are willing to help me. I must exile myself from my family. In ancient Alfar tradition, members of the family or clan could be banished forever with the proper ceremony. This stronghold was my family's seat. It contains the solemn bell, the Codex Skaith, and my birth candle. All components for the ritual of banishment I must complete. We should begin. Meet me in Dove Whale, and we shall get underway. Let us be quick.
As the seasons warn each year, the time to build is followed by a time for ruin. 2 sons of the mortal king were left with Talarain betwixt them, but neither held his share complete. And as these mortals built their kingdom, so too they had destroyed it all with war and jealousies. The mortals fought over the castles and hills. The servants of the Asta clan divided the remains between them. They called themselves Ratifer, Kents, and Skates. They hid their rocks and metal under their castles and called them home. They hoarded treasures and watched the seasons wear their stone walls and their wills.
Did you hear that?
That is it. A solemn bell. The ritual says I must speak the magic words to make it ring several times, and announce my intent on leading the Skaith family. Leaving! I said leaving the Skaith family. You should listen better. Let us be quick. It is done. If the bones of my ancestors did not know we were here, they do now. Now to the library, where I can find the Codex Skaith. Let us be quick. Hold here. There is something behind this door. Do you not sense it?
Oh, it is as I feared. The Scrivener is here after all. I cannot go in that room, not while he is there.
In life, he bound the names of my ancestors to the Codex Skaith, and thus was the keeper of the names of our line. He fought the family's curse, tried to safeguard our names, but his battle was lost, and he became the worst of them. The Scrivener is powerful. I do not wish to face it, even if it is only bones and magic. Please, kill him quickly. Let us be quick. Now that the Scrivener is dead, it is safe for me here. However, I was expecting this place to be in better condition. Well, I suppose this is what happens to a library after a few centuries of neglect. Ah! But here is the Codex. Keep them off my back while I find my name. It is done! I have added my name to the Codex Skaith. Yes, I added my name. I will explain later. No time now. Hurry! We must find my birth candle and finish the ritual. Stay quiet. I must find my candle amongst these. It will not be long now. Let us be quick. It is no longer here. My birth candle has been taken from its holder. It has been taken, so I cannot complete the ritual. If I cannot extinguish the candle's flame, then I will only have a short time before the monsters reach me. The first must have taken it. He is the progenitor, not like the others, for he has never truly died. Yes, the hunger consumes his soul, but his body still lives. His tomb should not be far. Please, warrior, I must be free of this all. Help me reclaim that candle. Stay quiet.
You must be a fool to follow Fatir around under false pretenses of some family curse. There is a curse only on Fatir's ancestors, not Fatir himself. Nor is he being hunted by us. This ritual of his is not to free us from the curse. It is to take control of his ancestors and raise them as his personal army. If you do not believe me, you can go ask Fatir yourself. But if you give him to me, I will be able to release my family from this curse. If you must.
It is true. There is no curse on me. Only upon my ancestors. This ritual will raise an army under my command. One of my ancestors was a leader of the Aster forces long ago. It is my family's duty to protect Talarain, but I cannot do so on my own. With an army of my ancestors under my command, I will be able to keep Talarain safe. Stay quiet.
Please, help my family find the peace for which they have sought. All you have to do is turn Fatir over to me. Fatir will not give in easily. I will need your assistance in slaying him. thank you for freeing my ancestors and myself from the curse. We will finally be at peace. In return for your wisdom, I offer you what little I can. The Skaiths amassed much wealth in life, and it is useless to us now. Our tombs carry the gifts for you. And now, I rest.
First, the Pyrrhal tree. Then the shapes of trees and heads and hawks, made by the white caps of the waves before they crashed. Then 1,000 other wonders in my lands have faded, failed, and fallen still. All I know and love is slipping from my past.
Now, what's this here? A little soldier come wandering down the coast? You'd better get word to Mad Harst in the customs house. Him and his will want to know. They always do. Dandra theory.
Did you think the whole army was across the water in Chloricon? No, I'm afraid some of us are stuck here in Dole An and Rathir.
Hope today, see tomorrow.
Now, if you'll attend here, these are the papers.
How fare you, sister?
Well, who can I send?
Good day to you.
Move along!
Tell me, what cost the lot by sea? Something tells me you're that meddler. You don't belong here.
Very heroic, my fine little war swan. You have tracked and fought your way to my very door, but the vault has been emptied and Lord Beeson has flown to Eamon's Isle. You don't even know, do you? Your own history. Well, let it stay buried. Out of your hands, out of mine, and in Beeson's. Fear not, the Farlangi shall bring a beauty terrible and sublime into the world. Now!
Back to sea.
Beeson. The Beeson. If it's true he's gone to Eamon's Isle, we must follow immediately. I know a ship's captain here in the city. Hopefully Captain Gonform isn't already hired. Take this, a token from Delfric himself. We should send word of our discoveries to him immediately. As soon as a ship can be chartered, yes. Search for Captain Gonform on the docks. If he has a ship free, I believe he will take us. You, bring word to Ancient... Frick. Now.
So many new faces in the market.
My ship is free, and its course is yours to plot, my friends. Were it not war-sworn asking, I wouldn't sail such treacherous northern waters or set foot on an island so long forsaken. But for you, I'll go. I'll go. She's a fine vessel, is she not? Whenever you wish it, friends. You need but give the word. Then climb aboard. The seas may be rough, but you and your comrade need not fear. You're in able hands.
So this is it. Eamon's Isle. These were once awesome towers and ramparts. Atop each, a banner snapping in the breeze. Imagine, Kerwin, fair and mighty, stood there and gazed out on the ocean. Look, and what beast... More Farlangi. I think they've seen us. Why did Beeson come here, I wonder? What was he after? Go on, we're not there. My mother was here, long ago. She saw many ancient places in her time. The ancient vault, and now here. But what do they hope to find? There are no relics here, only lost knowledge. Maybe knowledge more powerful than any relic. Look, the chapel of the... Look out! Mural. I need a closer look. If I'm not mistaken... This is it. All Beeson's plans, written here in our own recorded history. The mural tells of the mage Farlong, who sought to make himself a king of Niskaru, and how Aegon thwarted him. Beeson thinks he will succeed where Farlong failed. And he just might. Beeson's minions call themselves Farlongir. As Beeson does now, the mage Farlong gathered cursed artifacts and used them to raise a host of lesser Niskaru. Do you see? Beeson follows Farlong's path at every step. Because he could not learn what he needed to know anywhere else. Everything he needs is written here, down to the last detail. I think we must. Farlong tried to free a Niskaru lord from its mountain prison. With such power behind him, he would have been unstoppable. As Beeson seeks to mimic Farlong, so we must match Eamon and stop him. A chaotic being of immense power. If it were loosed upon the world... But it must not. It mustn't. Yes, he did. The Mystic Hammer, forged by Eamon for the hands of his son Aegon. It alone could halt Farlong's spell and restore the Niskaru Lord to his prison. I know of it, but not its location. But Delphric may be able to help with that. Return to Shieldring Keep. I will travel to Ironfast Keep in Detir and learn all I can. Meet me there. Beeson will not wait for us.
There you are. Is it time to return? And that's a certain thing then, is it? I think we'll not see this scrap of shore again once we go. Off we go then.
As soon as I received news of your discoveries, I learned whatever I could of the Alfar Lord, Anru Beeson. He is indeed a powerful man, a member of the Orbakant, or he was, until he proposed using Niskaru in the war. He was laughed off the council, and then vanished, taking some of Rathir's most powerful mages with him. Yes, I see. It should be in Aegon's tomb. A last-pledged shield none below Oathblade are permitted inside our sacred places, but this is easily solved. For your valor and honor, in the name of the First Sworn, I bestow upon you the rank of Oathblade. Take this as a token of the honor. Now, the tomb lies just south of Ulcerund. It opens only with this key. Proceed to Ironfast once you have the hammer. And by the First Sworn, may you...
Oathblade?
This life offers two choices. Fight or die. Those who choose to live face conflict. It is the natural balance of this world. The weeds preclude the flower's bud. The spider's web arrests the fly. The water carves the rock. In the dry wastes of the Tyr, in the land known as Ulcerund, the House of Valar became the home of this primal force.
Then returned the prophetess to her people, who, content with largesse, would stay in their wintry country. Tyrion spoke, as I know, her silken robes the fabric of Lyria's hand. Hail! The words of the goddess I herald unto her people. And have I heard from starlit lands in her woven grasp. Her way is east, that way which we must travel, for these frosty vales are not beautiful. Our cousins, we say unto you, be no more troubled by our plight. We will go to the opposite ends of Alfaria, and be Dokofar content.
He only needed one name. The Carver. Like the wind, or the lightning, or the dawn. With his presence, a new age began. The kings of the south stood. They were the lords of the desert sea.
Now who's this? I've grown so used to the same few drifters coming in for supplies and the contract board. A fresh face is a welcome thing. All right now.
My poor old master had but one dying wish, that his prize blade, the one on the wall, be mended. Some days I dream that I'll do it myself. Then I remember, I'm a poor untrained apprentice who can barely forge a soup spoon. Why, that's Haldabeer's blade. It's famous, from the Fey Wars. My old master always said he'd fix it right again. Might have, if he'd lived. Now it just hangs on the wall, taunting me, reminding me of all I'm not. Not by an ordinary smith, true, but there's one living who can. Only, he'd rather eat nettles and stare at the sky than raise hammer to anvil. You can find the hermit smith yourself, up in the Minotaur Heights. Only, I warn you, he won't speak to anyone. Mind you, I said he could mend that blade. I never said he would. But if you think you can just alter fate, seek him in the Minotaur Heights, due south and west of here.
Oathblade?
I'm quartermaster here. Tell me what you need and I'll see what I can do.
Greetings.
Oathblade?
You have the remains of the hammer. It is... I should have expected this. It was forged in the Hall of the First Sworn. It must, I think, be reforged there. The hall is not far, only... I don't know what to do when we get there. The hall lies south through the canyons. Meet me there.
Yes? The heights of Minotaur are thick.
First, he made the river in the arc of the great snake-tail. When that grew tedious, he turned his attention to the cliffs, the dunes, the depths.
Normally, I'd advise you to take a leap off that ledge, but at the moment, I find myself in need of aid. Don't think you'll get anything out of it, though. I certainly won't teach you anything.
Damned kobolds is what. Poison spear to my leg and it's begun to fester. There are things for it, easy to gather myself. If I could walk. Iron fast? I'd rather rot here, thank you. I'll give you a little something if you'll help me, but don't expect me to return to the world. I'd be grateful, but don't expect any wisdom or a fine-crafted gift. Hermits have little to give. I'll need spider sack ichor, fenrack from the canyon below, and grist from a Jotun's cookpot. Can you get me those?
I'm sorry for the way I left Ironfast. The last time I saw my mother was the day she set off for these ruins. She came here and never returned. I thought maybe... But we must be going. Records speak of a sacred passage that leads to the forge. Lead on, Oathblade. We mustn't stop. Mother. Oh, there you are. She was so close. Look, that must be the sacred passage there. All right, let's do this.
Ugh.
There's no hope. We've come all this way. For what? You and I are not Eamon. How can we ever hope to pass through that? Yes, but it can't be done. Try for yourself. Ancient magic bars the way.
Only those foreseen may enter here. Fate bars this path, and none may alter fate. Approach, mortal. The hammer must be remade. The hammer. To the forge. You will know the way. The wisdom is within you.
Look at it, how it shines. This is a weapon of legend. Held in Aegon's hands, it felled Niskaru by the score. But now we have our own legends to make. The Niskaru Lord Kamazondu is imprisoned in Cloudcrest Mountain, in the Hollowlands. As Beeson weaves his spell, something called the Niskaru Lord's Crown will emerge. Are you listening? It is not truly a crown, but emanations of the Niskaru Lord itself, as it emerges from the mountain. It cannot escape all at once, so if we can injure these first projections with the Mystic Hammer, we can close the door Beeson seeks to open. Cloudcrest Mountain looks over the southern Hollowlands, west of here. I will go to Ironfast Keep for reinforcements and meet you there. To the mountain then, and our final task.
Taxing through swamp and ice, desert and wood, was the exodus from frozen lands. Upon each hill the priestess sang, and closer to Eretha they came. The people walked in groups, the future houses of Rathir, planning the lives of gold and silver, music and laughter. Lush fields and streams Tyrion described to farmers, the first makers of the bread and food we eat today. The mages that awaited Lyria's touch now reap her power.
In ancient times, the desert had no shade. The sun burned the land to ruin. The rivers disappeared, and the animals hid underground. The people cried to Helios for mercy, but he didn't answer their prayers. As the plants withered in the heat, the hollow lands echoed with the crackle of fires.
Look, Beeson has carved his own way into the mountain. And that will be our route as well. Let's go.
Oh, to war!
Great gods!
Good to be back in the thick of it.
Sworn to war.
We'll hold them back. You go on. Do what you came to do.
What have you done, you fool? Do you think this war can be won without me? Mortals cannot triumph against such malice. Do you know what preparations I have made? What long labors? What it will take to rebuild what you have destroyed? I will cut your flesh from your bones. You have doomed us all. Now die.
It seems I won't be stretching my limbs so soon. It is a shame that the mage proved so feeble an instrument of my will. Would that I had a better, stronger one. That is true. What a shame. I was nearly free after so long. But the seal is cracked, and my mind may now wander. Imagine what I could do if I had an instrument through which to act as well. Your glory is bright, little one, but in less than a blink of my eye, your candle will flicker and fade. A whiff of smoke, then nothing. But I will be here still. I will chuckle when you die. And when I am freed, I will laugh until the seas boil and the mountains shake. I will wait, but not for long. You have made...
Were you talking to someone? Never mind. I saw it all from over there. You were like one of the first sworn in living flesh. When you're ready, head back to the Hall of the First Sworn. Don't keep us waiting there, all right? Hall of the First Sworn. Don't delay.
Enter. Stand before the swan. You have done great deeds. You have shined brightly as Caerwyn's blade and cleared the dust from our most glorious past. You have felled foes beyond imagining, and stayed true and sworn to war. Therefore, I proudly bestow upon you the high and treasured rank of True Sworn. With one hand, we remain sworn to war in the noble mercenary's creed. With the other, we shall keep watch and strike at every Niskaru threat.
The carver made by the morning, what takes the cycles centuries to shape. He bored holes in the red marches and chiseled the spine in the Ulcerun. Echoes rang through the canyons of Menethir. He gouged the hollow lands and then left it back. Finally, the carver rested. He grew a mountain crowned with clouds by the river, and leaned against its side to sleep. Ages passed, and the sand settled into his work, and all the land was still.
There was another named Own. This name was to be feared. The name is death, decay, and violence. A cold and fading moment. A mind not of misery in the few leaves of winter. A suit of armor beneath which lay a void. Where Issa's vision was of cultured landscapes, his was of the choking weeds. Own's reach devoured the land. The winter approached.
That day, the carver woke to find his touch run dry, the wellspring of his power dead as dust at the source. He heard then the first whisper, the first mention. Mortals.
About bloody time. Spider gland for the festering, fenrack for the pain, and stewgrass to keep my strength up. You've done me a good turn, stranger. I live a hermit's life, so have little to give. I hope you'll take this as thanks. You'll get nothing else. I told you I wouldn't go. There's nothing I can do old Braskin can't handle on his own. I still know him. I came to Menethir because of him, the only man in all Amalur I respect. What? He's dead? Then he never mended that sword. and that green apprentice is left alone half-trained. Damn it all, I swore I'd never... But the blade and the apprentice... Apprentice and the blade... It won't do. I must go. Bring me a compound known as Master's Tallow from Hervar's doorsill, and the sword is yours. I'll be at Ironfast waiting. Be swift.
Of Menity are thick with jute. Yes? We see
You have the Master's tallow? Then let's begin. Lords of Iron and Fire, it's good to be back at the forge. Brace yourselves now. Behold, Haldebeer's blade, strong and whole. As you made this possible, I insist that you take it. A hero deserves a hero's sword. Now, if you're done gawking, I have a clumsy oath of an apprentice to train. That's a remarkable sword I gave you. Treat it well.